All right, let's get into audience questions for the week. First one, David, what do you think the impact is of Donald Trump's acquittal at his second impeachment? This is a good question. You know, there were tons of hot takes after Trump was acquitted for the second time last Saturday about now what? What is the impact? And there were some articles saying Trump is acquitted but weakened, and others saying Trump is revitalized. I think that all of those takes are basically BS in the sense that the acquittal was a foregone conclusion all along. We knew that there were not going to be 17 Republican senators willing to vote to convict witnesses or no witnesses, evidence or no evidence. You could have a signed letter from Trump saying, I deliberately incited the riot and planned to do it all along, and they still would have acquitted Donald Trump. So I don't think the conviction or acquittal itself, if it had been a conviction, it'd be different. I don't think the acquittal itself really changes that much. I think it's too soon to say what the now post second impeachment Trumpian movement is going to do or the direction it's going to go, because we're really in uncharted territory here. Trump has said he wants to stay in politics. Trump has talked about we'll be back, rumors about a 2024 run. It might happen. It might not happen. Trump could just be totally bored with politics by then. Trump might just be exhausted. He may feel like he's too old for, just who knows? It's really, really difficult to know. But the most interesting aspect of the acquittal for the immediate is how does it impact Republicans in 2021 gubernatorial races, and how does it impact Republicans in 2022? The people who voted to acquit and the people in the House so some of the senators who voted to acquit and everybody in the House who voted not to impeach has an election in 2022. And that's still a long time. The American political memory is quite short in many ways. But it will be a real question as to whether there are repercussions to those who were on what I would argue is obviously the wrong side when it comes to impeachment. Will Republican voters hold them accountable or not? Most Republican voters for now seem to be very much behind Trump. So there may be no accountability. And you could see in 2022, the most Trumpian brown nosers, people in the Senate, but also the real sycophants who are only here because of Trump in the House, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Madison Cawthorn, Lauren Boebert, and some others. If they get reelected in 2022, which is still a ways from now, but the campaigns are starting in the next 7-8 months, unbelievably. If they get reelected, it is a real sign that that faction has won out in the Republican Party. And then what happens in terms of a possible split? We talked last Friday, I think it was, about 100 former Republican officials, many from the Bush era, some from Trump, others, who are saying we're leaving the Republican Party and we're going to start a traditional conservative party. If the Trumpian wing is cemented as the wing, sort of like when we talk about the virus, you've got the main variant and then what else? You've got these other variants, but then those other variants can take over and become the dominant variants. If Trumpian politics becomes the dominant Republican strain, you may see traditional Republicans split off. At the same time, the reverse could happen. You could see a rejection of these Green, Boebert, Cawthorn types, and maybe they will end up splitting off. What seems very clear to me is that, at least as of right now, if Trump wants the nomination in 2024, it is essentially his for the taking. We have new polling that tells us about that, and we're going to talk about that in an upcoming segment. One other thing to think about as far as Trump goes is that historically voters don't like losers. Trump has lost and he has shed some support among Republican voters. He still has a lot of support, but he has lost some of it. The people that stay are more likely to be the real diehard radicals. And if you see that willingness to follow Trump elsewhere, which right now is at 64% of Republicans, if it drops to 50, if it drops to 40, if it drops to 30 by 2022, that is going to dramatically change what's possible in terms of upcoming elections for Donald Trump. And that's actually the next question. So let's go right into that. If you are anything like me, you probably aren't thrilled with the idea of going into a doctor's office right now. And thankfully, there's a practical and affordable way to take control of your health and get personalized care from the comfort of your home. It's a service called SteadyMD. They're one of our sponsors. You take a quiz, you get matched with a licensed primary care physician who understands your health needs. You have a 1-hour video call with your new doctor. You establish a meaningful relationship with them. And after that, your doctor is available to you anytime by text, phone, or video chat. This is not a random doctor on call. Each doctor at SteadyMD has a limited number of patients, so they actually have time to listen to you. You get the personal attention that you deserve. They can do almost everything an in-person doctor can do: perform medical evaluations, talk to you about health concerns, send prescriptions to your home or local pharmacy, and anything they can't do online, they'll quickly set you up with an in-person provider to do, things like blood tests, as an example. You don't need insurance. It's only $99 a month with no other fees or copays. There are so many practical advantages to using SteadyMD for primary care, and it's also so much more affordable. Go to steadymd.com/Pakman to take the free quiz, see which doctor is right for you. I took their quiz. They matched me with a doctor who specializes in my particular health needs and situation. The doctor they gave me is a really perfect fit for me and my medical needs. There's no risk, no commitment to get started. Just click the link right underneath this video.